Hello. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Today it's Friday, the first Friday of September, and I just want to say this is the first time I've ever been busy and very tired, and I've been very consistent waking up early in the morning. Did the same thing today. Woke up early morning and catch the bus, and I headed to school, and I was able to meet my career advisor, where I was able to look into the resume, the job applications, and I'm hoping that I'll be applying anytime soon. As you can see, I'm very tired. I actually came here like around 6 o'clock, and then I was sitting down very tired. I couldn't make a video. That's how tired I am right now. But if I forget, it's gonna get darker, and if it gets dark, I'm not be able to record the video. I won't have to record in the closet, which I don't like to record in the closet. I have to record in the window. So today's video is going to be about the CEOs, the economics of CEOs. So couple weeks or month, a lot of CEOs, tech CEOs. So you have Google CEO, like Zuckerberg of Facebook, Apple, Tim Cook. They came here in Washington DC to have dinner with Mr. Donald Trump and his wife, First Lady Melania Trump. And I wrote an article about this last month, because every month I publish articles, and I think I'm getting fairly good on predicting the U.S. Political system. Last year I predicted that Trump is gonna win the election, and he did, because I saw the sentiments, the drive, the desire. People wanted to vote for Trump, so I kind of knew. And then this article that I published last month, it was about how the CEOs are convincing Donald Trump to invest in technology, and also they are afraid to be called out, they are afraid to lose contract, so they are begging Donald Trump to do something for him. So the economics of the United States, as far as I know, yes, Trump has done so much that harms the economy, harms people, fire the people, reduce the deficit. There are so many things going on right now. But when you see CEOs coming to, when you see people reading one of the most multi-billion-dollar industries coming to the city here in Washington DC, sitting in the same room, being recorded on a video, on a camera, praising Donald Trump, on how good he is and how wonderful he has done, whether they believe what they say, whether they don't like him or not, the fact that they are able to come here. There was also Bill Gates. So the fact that they are able to come here and sit in DC, it means there is something. Because I'm doing economics, right? And as an economist, I have many things that I can do, and I know. That could be policies, it could be analysts, it could be understanding consumer behaviors, but also understanding political behaviors, political situations. And people like me that might be working in the background in an office like Google, Facebook, and then I advise the CEO, hey, you gotta talk to the president. So what I say right now, it might sound like just a YouTube video, but this is how people get jobs, and they work in the company just doing that. And I have really good understanding of the U.S. politics. So to give a history a little bit over here, last year under Joe Biden, they invested billions of dollars in electric vehicles, chip manufacturers, but that money was a lot, right? But however, there was a downside. This money was they would take money from a lot of companies. That they took the money from the government, and instead of building companies in the United States, they built companies in China. So China became like fast at producing massive electric vehicles thanks to the US investors. And with Trump, he explicitly says if you don't bring companies back into the United States, there is no dime, there's no money from you, there's no investments. And they know that they cannot get investments from another country. In China, which is like the most developed countries as well, the government gives money. The government gives money to the investor, but they have to control everything they do. So like they control the profit, they control the employees. In the United States, the government gives money to these corporations, but in return, they don't have to ask them to like pay, or they don't have to ask them how much money they can make. So CEOs, they can take a bunch of billion dollars from the government and then pay a penny to the American workers and then pocket a chunk of it. And if they notice that the government is trying to protest and harm them, if people raise their wages, they unionize, these corporations will move overseas as sort of a punishment to the American people. But when Trump came in, he's like, if you don't hire American people, you lose the contract. You lose the contract, and he doesn't care. And then this tells you how much Trump is like really different. That's why people don't really understand him, because he can hire somebody from Nigeria as long as he can give a contract, he can give money to somebody from Nigeria as long as that person is willing to build a company in the United States. He doesn't care. Like, as long as you are building something in the United States, he doesn't care. He doesn't care where you come from, he doesn't care who you are. You just have to invest here in the States. So these corporations, they realized, they can't go too far from outsourcing labor, from outsourcing jobs, and then expect to charge American people a high price. Expect American people to take loans and debt to afford something. So they all came together here in DC, and they sat with him and they praised him like, thanks for innovations, thanks for getting innovations. They didn't know what to say. They didn't know what to say because we are still in the transition. There has not been investments yet. Okay, the budget that was passed this year, it hasn't been implemented yet. Yesterday I mentioned about the healthcare, the Medicaid, the investments in the rural area. That money hasn't been out yet. So, but surprisingly, they worshipped him. They mentioned how great he is and how he's investing in tech. And then one lady, I don't know, I think she's the leader of Oracle. She mentioned how the CEO, the Trump is investing in AI. AI has been around for years. He did not invest in AI. But again, all of this is to ensure that they can take money from the government and invest. And I don't mind people investing. I don't mind this company investing, as long as they are not replacing people with AI, as long as they are not replacing people by moving jobs overseas. So, but when I saw that Trump and his administration sitting on the same table with all the CEOs, it kind of shows that there could be a positive outcome in the next few years. So we might see the economy rebounding back. We might not be able to recover the deficit that we have with China and other countries. We might not be able, Trump might have to drop some of the tariffs, but as long as companies come back to the United States, people get employed, and lower unemployment rate, that is to probably like 3%, because right now we have up to 5%. It's getting really higher, and that could be great. That would be a good thing. That would be a positive thing, and I hope that these CEOs they're able to negotiate. They're able to come up with something that is greater. So again, I always have some sort of a trust in Trump, because he, first of all, he did economics in his undergrad, and then he's a businessman, and he's a man who understands that in the industry there is risky, there is all sorts of things that goes into it, and every action that takes place is going to be risky and going to be the outcome. So I hope that his meeting and his CEOs is going to yield a positive outcome and boost the US economy. Millions of people in the United States at the moment, they are unemployed. Millions of people in the United States at the moment, they can't afford the homes, they can't afford the healthcare, they can't, a lot of things are happening. But hopefully that, when you see Mark Zuckerberg, CEO of Facebook, see Google CEO is not really a big of a deal. I don't really think much about him. Mostly Mark Zuckerberg. Mark Zuckerberg controls the entire world because his Facebook company controls the entire world, and he's the one who played a big role back in 2016, and he allowed Trump to win the election. And in 2020, his company was sued there was a lawsuit for him allowing the international countries to intervene with the US election. But I still don't understand why they would visit it. But I think from what I've seen in the video that I watched earlier on the Wall Street Journal, they seem to be afraid. Normally, for other presidents that you have seen, so you have like Barack Obama, Joe Biden, you kind of see these CEOs happy and they're excited, like really enjoying their life. But this time on the table, they seem to be afraid. They seem to be scared, and the fear comes from two things. Number one, Trump targeted DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. The idea that companies should be able to have a mix of different race and gender and background, skills, and that was eliminated, and that's because I think some people were abusing the program, which became a big issue. So Trump still believes in DEI. He still believes in diversity, which is Civil Rights Act, which does not allow discrimination. But he was able to ban it. Not like he banned it, but he reduced it in the sense that companies that get involved in DEI, they will be at risk of losing some fundings. The second thing that the CEOs are afraid of is tariffs. Tariffs are still kicking in. Companies are still taking they are still taking the price. They are still losing money. They haven't put the price tag on the market yet, because if they do, people are gonna get upset, and if people get upset, Trump is gonna get upset. Trump does not want people to get upset, because if they do, he loses his credibility. His legal doesn't know. Like, I watched one of these videos, one of his interview with Winfrey, like the African American lady was a TV star, and then Trump mentioned that he doesn't like to lose, so he doesn't like to be criticized, and that means these CEOs, they can criticize him, and they cannot pass tariffs onto the consumer. Couple years ago, and I'll talk about this in the future, but a few years ago, after COVID was open, the Democrats, they allowed companies to price gouging, raising the price extremely higher. Gas price was high. I think I mentioned this about before, but gas price was higher, rent went up, food price went up, everything dramatically went up, despite having stimulus check, despite having support and the money and the resources. Everything still went up. Why? Because the companies, they were able to raise the price on purpose, price gouging, despite that we just got out of COVID right away. They know that we just got out of COVID, they raised the price. So these companies, they can't do that to Trump. And to be honest, for me, I don't care. I don't care because they have made so much money from outsourcing labor. So they have money. They are billionaires. So if they lose money, they should pay half the price that they think they saved. So the economics of the billionaires, economics of CEOs in the United States, here in Washington, D.C. Probably it's going to be positive. It's going to be great. And that's what I think for today. So other than that, thanks for watching this video. Like always, take care and have a wonderful day. See you tomorrow. Ciao, ciao.